Right, welcome back. I've noticed on this this Qumox, I've noticed that the anti-shake option was turned on. I'm wondering if that was the problem with all the shaking in the background and the blurriness and things like that. It was a bit weird. Made your eyes feel funny. This woodland by my house is it's filled with squirrels. I haven't actually heard the cranky squirrel this year. Usually we sit in the back garden, there's this one squirrel every year that kicks off. He just, I don't know, he screeches and screeches to try and get you to leave. Must think that our garden is his. Well, it is really, isn't it? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, just checking this Qumox out again, see if that that weird shaking effect has gone. While I walk up to get the Mrs. Meds. It's a lovely day. So Friday vlog, and usually once a month I go and do a voluntary class. Well, it's voluntary for me, but the guy's actually on it. It's part of their training. A friend of mine owns a security company, and with the years of doing that sort of thing and the martial arts, I can add something to their training. Maybe it's just a bit of experience. And I don't know, I've seen a lot and I've done a lot in the security industry and door work and things like that. So if any of my experience helps them, then it's a bonus, isn't it really? Here's me being nosy again, looking at beautiful houses. Look at that. I'm hoping you're still recording. I did notice on the Tuesday build that the sound on this Qumox, it's alright, but it's not as good as the Galaxy. But I think when I'm talking this close to you, or to it, I think you can hear what I'm saying. Okay. But then again, I'm not shouting. It's morning, and there might still be people asleep. You never know. I tell you what I could do with one of those. It's like not a selfie stick. It's like a mount that you put your camera on, that kind of keeps the camera level. So when you're walking, you're not going like this. I might look into it, see how much they are. It's strange because every time I come up this way to the high street, that one bit with those steps kind of takes the breath out of me. I don't know why. It's not as if it's steep. Just always that same place. Maybe the trees are sucking all the oxygen out. I don't know. But yeah, just thought I'd share that with you. I'm only recording this so I can check out that anti-shade thing. I don't even know if I'm going to upload this. It's just random rubbish, really. Look at that for a tree camp. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Up there. Would be an awesome tree house. Never too old to build a tree house. I built one at the back of my garden in the woodland. The problem is it attracted so many kids from, I don't even think they were all from my neighbourhood, just dossing up there, and then the older kids started to turn up, sitting up there smoking and whatever else they do. Yeah, so I took it down. I know it does sound like I'm a grumpy old man, but I really didn't want anyone going up there smoking or drinking and then falling down. It was a good 12 to 15 feet above the ground. Right, so I'm here. I'm going to leave you for a minute, go and sort out the wife's meds, and then I'll speak to you in a bit. Right, so I'm on the Broadstone Trailway. That direction is Broadstone, Spetsbury, Blandford, Wimborne. Wrong way round. Wimborne, Spetsbury, then Blandford. And then that way is Poole, Hulls Bay. It's kind of where it ends. Hulls Bay at Astor, I think. But it's lovely. I much prefer to walk down here when I go up to the high street than on the main road. It's noisy and boring. Well, I suppose you can still hear the cars because it kind of runs parallel for a minute. It's nice. All you get is dog walkers, people jogging and cycling, and that's it. Well, it is a trailway, and I suppose there is a way for people to get on here, like kids and stuff with their scooters, but you don't see them. You know, I was listening to talk radio yesterday in the car. Oh, I was infuriated. It really did my head in. These stupid people on the radio talking about stuff they don't understand. So I'm there in the car, just getting peed off. I was actually thinking of ringing the radio station to talk on air, but obviously I can't do that while I'm driving. Well, I can't punch the number in while I'm driving. But what it was about was Girl Guides. There was something in the news recently about transgender people wanting to join Girl Guides. So it's obviously a little boy that's had a sex change, and I think they refused him. Her, get that right. But there was a caller come on, and she said, my daughter is transgender, and she left Guides, which I don't understand. Was she a boy before she joined Guides? Surely not, because there's only girls allowed to join Guides. Or was she a girl that changed into a boy? Anyway, she was talking about her child left Girl Guides because she was worried about her safety, her personal safety, while she was on camp and things like that. And that really peed me off. And then she went to mention about scouts and things like that. Oh, you know, scout leaders are vetted, obviously, because they're going to be around kids. So yeah, we're vetted and we're trained and we take certain precautions when we're around the young people. We're never alone with a young person, especially on camp. You would never go into a young person's tent unless you got another leader with you. These are things that you kind of take seriously to cover yourself against allegations. And also, let's face it, if you're a little kid and you're in a tent and a leader got into your tent to talk to you, I would feel uncomfortable as that little kid. So we don't do that. Things like, for instance, when Thomas went home, when he broke his arm, he was sharing a tent with another lad. Now, that other lad, after Thomas had gone home, was no longer allowed to have a tent on his own, even though he wasn't scared of the dark, and he was an older scout. I'd say about 13. He still wasn't allowed to have a tent to himself, and that's purely because anyone could wander into his tent in the middle of the night. You know, there has been in the past leaders that have done that sort of thing, but you just never know, do you? Anyway, back to the story of this stupid radio presenter. She just infuriated me because she knew nothing about scouts. She was just going on what, kind of playing devil's advocate a little bit, but without facts. The same presenter, that's actually two of them on talk radio. These two, I don't know why I listen to it because, you know, it infuriates me. The other day I was in the car and they were talking about mobility scooters, and they were saying that they're dangerous, they shouldn't be allowed on the footpath. And then in the same breath they were saying they're dangerous, they shouldn't be allowed on the road. He said, this idiot said at one point that they can go up to 15 miles an hour and they shouldn't be allowed on the footpath. Good morning. Morning, you alright? 15 miles an hour is obviously an absolute prune. Unless you've souped it up. I mean, my wife gets 10 miles an hour with a good wind behind her going down a hill, a steep hill. So anyway, that infuriated me as well. I just think that people should get their facts right before they make comments about stuff they don't understand. Anyway, I've had my rant. I'm happy now. So you can see when people are riding up behind me. I can't. I should put a little mirror on the top of my camera, shouldn't I? You know what? Talking to you, I think I've missed my turning. No, I haven't. It's down there. It's fine. I'd like to come along here with a metal detector one day, because obviously, being an old railroad, it's more than likely going to be railroad spikes along the edges of this somewhere. They make wicked knives. You get it on the forge. back then the steel was steel, now it's mixed with all sorts of stuff, different softer steels. So I'm going to get back in a minute and check this footage. It's going to be a little bit wobbly because I'm walking, but I'm hoping that that weird effect in the background has gone, because I do like this camera. It's very light and the battery lasts ages. I have got a couple more of this type of camera that uses the same battery, so I've got 3 batteries that will fit this camera. And I think I've got about 4 32 gig SD cards as well. So as far as batteries and SD cards, this is a lot better to use than the Galaxy. I'm going to leave you to it, and I'm going to go and check this footage out. Bye bye.